Fair warning, if you have not seen Toy Story 4, there's going to be spoilers in this video. So if you have not watched Toy Story 4, click away from this video now, because I'm going to be saying some spoilers. So I just got back from the movie theater of watching Toy Story 4. Because it's my sister's birthday, she wanted to go watch Toy Story 4. Now, I have said this before, and I will say it again. Toy Story 4 was an unnecessary film. They should not have messed with the perfect ending that they did with the third one. They should have just left it the way it was. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a rating. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. Because, you know, the animation was great, the casting was great, the story was not where it needed to be. Character backgrounds could have been touched up a little bit. And just flat out, the whole movie could have been a little bit better in certain areas. You know, the main villain, you know, was okay, but, you know, it wasn't even a bad character. Like, it was just a character who was kind of lonely, like, you know, not having that toy experience. And, you know, that part, you know, is kind of great, but it reminds me too much of Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2. Because he was one of my favorite villains, even though he was kind of pathetic. In a way. I know a lot of people do not like Toy Story 2. Me, personally, I didn't mind Toy Story 2. I thought it was okay. First one is always going to be my favorite. But here's where spoilers start to come in. You know, Woody was always one of my favorite characters as a kid. And to see him go from Toy Story 1 till Toy Story 4 is, quite frankly, inspiring in some manner, in some aspect, but also kind of, I don't know, kind of heartwarming / heartbreaking type thing. The storyline that they chose for this movie, you know, with Forky coming to life because Bonnie made him to be a toy, but he's actually a school project that somehow managed to become a toy. It doesn't make much sense to me because, you know, if that happened, then what happens if a kid, you know, falls in love or builds, you know, some kind of, you know, doomsday weapon? What happens then? You know, and I realize that this goes back to Toy Story 1 with Sid's toys. You know, his stuff was all handmade by him, and they're still all alive. That's a little bit different though. Those were actual toys taken apart. Those were actual toys, you know, made from other pieces of other toys. That makes sense, but the fact that a spork with a little bit of glue, a little bit of putty, and a little bit of, you know, pipe cleaner and, you know, clay doesn't make much sense. So, you know, the overall story, I will admit, it was a really funny movie in certain places. I laughed mostly at the film. I wasn't laughing with the film. Some of the jokes there were kind of, you know, oh my god, really? They seriously did that kind of stuff? Because in one particular scene, Buzz falls out of this, I want to say it was an RV, and this, like, carnival dude picks him up and zip ties him to the, you know, to the prize wall, like in the trailer. And, like, this, like, stuffed rabbit and stuffed duck are, like, somehow stuck together. And they were just meant for comic relief. They didn't have any real purpose in the film except for comedy relief. You know, the whole conversation with them and Buzz was kind of, you know, it was literally just there to bring in bring the movie in some more laughs. If you haven't seen the trailer, Bo Peep is back. So at the beginning of the movie, they do show how exactly she left, and it's kind of sad when you first see it. But I have a face of stone. I didn't cry during Avengers Endgame, even though I almost did, but I didn't. The only real movie that's really made me cry was Logan, and that was it. Very few movies do make me cry or tear up. My mother was crying before the movie, even like shortly after the movie began. Like literally, as Bo Peep is leaving, she was in tears. But she's just like that. That's what she does. You know, if a movie is sad, she cries with the movie, and that's just her. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you know, Bo Peep got sold because like Andy's sister didn't really, care about it, even though, apparently as when they first got Bo Peep, she like used it every night, or something like that. So it's real sweet to see the relationship build up. Woody hasn't seen Bo Peep in like I think they said, I want to say they said 9 years. That's almost a decade. So it's kind of sad to see that. It's also kind of a real tender moment when they are reunited. It's real sweet, real cool. Even though the whole thing is a coincidence because they just happened to be, or Woody and Forky just happened to be in front of a antique shop that just happens to have the Bo Peep lamp without Bo Peep or the sheep. I think the funniest part of the film is when Woody and Bo like accidentally fall off. I want to say it was a merry-go-round, and Woody takes the biggest landing and is holding Bo Peep's severed arm because like she had her arm broke off or something, and she has like gauze tape to fix it. I don't see how that works. But again, it's a movie, so kids aren't going to notice that or care. But the villain's goal was a little off because like she was like mint condition type like baby doll almost thing. And her voice box is busted, and Woody has an interchangeable voice box that she wants to make herself whole so that way she can finally have the experience that Woody experienced, being there for the kid for so many years and blah, blah, blah. So she wasn't really evil. I wouldn't picture her as a bad guy because, in the end, Woody does help her. And he does give her his voice box because he realizes he doesn't really need it anymore since Bonnie stopped playing with him because he's been in the closet and stuff like that. So, it's real sweet that he was able to help her. I think the part that was, I think the saddest part of the film was there was this girl at the carnival and she was bawling her eyes out because she could not find her parents. And I've seen a lot of kids at carnivals and stuff because I used to go to some carnivals. I see tons of kids who are like that. And that's a personal experience for me because while I've never had that happen, I feel what the kid felt. And I'm like, that's just kind of sad. And, I can't remember what the doll's name was, but they put her on the ground, and then they show her, the toys secretly show the kid where the doll is. She finds the dolls. Both of them find security, and then the security helps get the kid back to her parents. Real sweet moment. But again, I didn't really cry during this film because films just don't make me cry. I mean, I didn't cry during Infinity War. I did not cry during Endgame, even though I wanted to, but I didn't. The plot on the film didn't make much sense. I've said this before. But the whole thing with Bonnie's family going on a road trip before she starts kindergarten. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Where the hell was that, by the way, when I was starting kindergarten? I would have loved to go on a road trip. um, but the whole location thing was kind of awkward because I can't picture. I wouldn't let my kid take toys to a carnival type place like that. I wouldn't do that because your odds are you're gonna get more stuff like souvenirs and shit on the way there or on the way back. So what's the point in bringing old stuff with you that could get lost or is very valuable or anything of the sort? I don't know. I will say this: the bad guys henchmen were kind of creepy. Actually, they looked like Slappy from Goosebumps. That's what the ventriloquist puppet guy. That's what they looked like. They kind of walked like like zombie-like, which is kind of weird. The stunt driver, motorcyclist dude, Kaboom dude and again, he was just there for comic relief, nothing more. He was an okay character. Bo Peep, she was an okay character. I honestly thought she was gonna turn evil, like be the bad guy when I first started watching this movie. I'm like, Bo Peep is going to be the bad guy. She's going to be the bad guy. Why? Because she was abandoned for 9+ years. That's going to leave a very big emotional scar. Turns out I was wrong. Shit happens. The ending of the film was sad, but it wasn't as sad as the third movie. Because I remember seeing something that Tim Allen warned Tom Hanks about the Toy Story 4's very emotional ending. And when I first read that article, I'm like, Woody's gonna die. I know it. Woody is going to die. Again, turns out I was wrong. Instead, what he does is he just leaves his 10+-year-old or like 19+-year-old friends behind. And just poof, leaves. That's it. He just freaking leaves with Bo Peep. That's it. I'm like, I came into the movie expecting a very sad ending because, I am man enough to admit the ending of Toy Story 3 when they were in the smelting pit, that made me cry. And I, again, have a face of stone. But that moment when the toys knew that they were going to be incinerated and they were saved by a giant metal claw, that moment when they all started holding hands, that's what did it for me. That is what made me start bawling like a baby. No, maybe not quite that bad. But that was the number one moment. I'm like, oh my god, man, really? They had to go that far? I know that they know that they're going to die, but still, they stick together. That was a very emotional ending, and they should have kept it there. Toy Story 4 is an entirely, pointless movie. It was good, but it wasn't there. Like, if they had made, Woody die, or, have the toys all die, or something like that. Like, have a similar type thing to completely end the entire franchise. Because now they kind of set up a possible opening for a Toy Story 5. Because Woody's gone with Bo, but the other toys, Buzz and the others, are still with Bonnie. So, there is room for a fourth, or for like another freaking movie. And it's not needed. They should have ended it with the third one and just kept it a trilogy. But they didn't, And I'm not hating on this film. I'm not trying to bash it or anything. I'm just saying it was not necessary. It was an unnecessary movie. If they had just simply kept it with the last three, with only a 3-movie trilogy, it would have been better. But they didn't. They were milking this thing for all it's worth. Now, I love Tim Allen. I love Tom Hanks. They're both really good, talented actors. But I honestly think that it should have been a trilogy and not a 4 series film or 4 series franchise. But the whole, I get the whole reason why it's supposed to be very emotional, because Woody has known all of his friends for years. Buzz has always been his number one friend. Rex, Potato Head, and all the other guys, they're close seconds. But the fact that he was willing to leave like that was stupid. Now, maybe this is just coming from me because I'm 18 and, when I watch a kid's movie like that, I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't make much sense. It's because I'm not a kid anymore. So maybe that's what it is. But the fact that he left like that, he had known those guys for as long as Andy had them. The fact that he left like that pisses me off. If he had had some kind of struggle, like, why doesn't, Bo Peep just stay with us? Or, why don't we all go? Or something like that. If they had done it like that, kind of predictable, but if I'm not mistaken, they did try that. But she didn't want to do it. I get, the whole emotional ending type thing. They've been friends for years, and he just up and walks away. And they honestly should have made Woody die, at least. They should have made at least him die, because if they had made him sacrifice himself to save everybody else, it would have been so much better. I guarantee it. And it would have made the entire audience cry. Because literally, this is what happened to the audience while I was watching the movie. I happened to glance. We were sitting next to some girls over on this side, and then my mother and my 2 sisters on this side. They were every girl in the theater was crying like a baby. All the guys are like, "Oh my God, really? That's seriously how they're going to end this series that's been going on since 1995?" Kind of stupid there. If they had made Woody die, I guarantee you everyone in the theater would have been crying. I guarantee it. Every person in that theater would have been crying. Or at least in the showing room where we were. But no, only most of the girls who were there were crying. And I'm like, the movie wasn't that sad. Woody left, but he's got every right to do so. He was with Andy for 19 years? I mean, when friggin' Andy went off to college, he was 19, maybe 18 or so? He was about my age. Plus, Andy's dead. He's a hand-me-down toy. And Woody has been around since 1950. Like they said that in the movie. He's been around since 1950. The dude's got a reason to go away. I mean, he's served his purpose. He did what he was supposed to do. He was there when Andy needed him the most. He was there when Bonnie needed him the most. He was there when Buzz needed him the most. He was there when Jesse needed him the most. He was there for everyone. So the guy has every right to go away. So the movie wasn't really that sad for me. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me, saying, "Oh no, the movie was so sad. It made the other one look like a bitch and everything else." No, it wasn't. It was not that sad of a movie. Woody had every right to retire like that. He had so many reasons to retire like that. I would have done the same thing. Except I would have offered to take at least Buzz with me. But that's just it. I would have offered to say, "Hey, Buzz, you want to come with me? Come with me if you want to live." That would have been so much better if they had just, either killed off Woody or make Buzz, Jesse, and Bullseye go with him. At least. Or have everyone go with him. I don't care. Make everyone go with him. But not just him, man. So, all in all, I did not mind this film. It is something I will watch again. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I've got to give it a 6 because it just did not have the emotional touch that I was expecting. I was expecting a very emotional film that was going to make me cry, or at least, be like, man, wow, that was sad. And instead, this is what happened. Wow, they should have ended that better. But that's just me. Again, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that was so sad because, he's been with them for, as long as he can remember and blah, 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 blah. But again, look at it from my point of view. The dude has been the guy has been alive since the 50s. He deserves a retirement. So, that's just me. So, all in all, it wasn't bad, but it could have been better. It could have been a lot more emotional. But, maybe it's just two reasons for that. One, I'm not a guy, or I'm sorry about that. It's like midnight. For one, I'm a adult. I'm not a kid anymore. So, maybe that's one thing. And two, I'm a guy. It's just, guys were always taught not to cry during stuff like that. But it's just, I don't know, just, this movie had its ups and has its downs, but mostly it was just made just to make another Toy Story movie. Like, it was literally just made to bring in more money. I mean, that's literally what they did. The whole story was off. Forky was pretty much the main character. And the whole point of it was to get Forky back, but also to make Woody go away with Bo Peep. That was literally the only reason this movie was made, and I was not thrilled. They could have done a short film like this. They could have done a short, like one of those Disney shorts, Pixar shorts, like The Tin Toy, and the Toy Story Christmas Adventure. They could have done that. They could have squeezed everything that Toy Story 4 brought into this tiny little mini movie that's about 10 minutes long. They could have explained everything that they did in Toy Story 4 in 10 minutes. Granted, it's taken me 23, but that's beside the point. Still, they could have shrunk it down to this little bitty instead of being there for almost 2 hours. 10 minutes or 2 hours. So, that's just me. I didn't mind the movie, but I wasn't necessarily thrilled with the movie. I didn't like the decision that they did to make another movie. And thanks to Disney, I'm sure they're going to make a 5th movie. And if they don't, I'll be surprised. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And, I'll see you guys all later. I have a big day tomorrow. I got a new bed. The bed's up here. Desk is down here. New studio coming out soon. So, I'll give you guys an update on that later. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed me raving about this movie. Honestly, it's a cute movie. I'm just acting frustrated for views. Probably shouldn't have said that on camera. Can I edit that out? No, I can't. All in all, it wasn't a bad film, but it did have its flaws. But other than that, I thought it was cute. So, anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye.